Hi, this is Steve Adler. Got a minute? Let's go through some numbers. Two guests today are going to come talk to us. One is a celebration. The other one's kind of like a celebration too, but bringing some good news here to the thousands of people in our city. But before we get to that, let's begin with the numbers. This is the first dashboard that we have on the city websites. You can see the number of hospital admissions at 23 continues to go down. 7-day running average is 27. That continues to go down. You can see the graph in the middle is going down, but still kind of flat relative to the increase we had when we were going forward. But certainly 27 is a good number to be at. But the fact that it's flattened and the fact that it's a plateau is a general concern for us. Let me tell you, if you look at these reports as they've existed over time, you know how long ago it was that we had a 7-day running average for hospitals that was as low as 27. And the answer to that is it was 27.7 on June 22nd. June 22nd. So like 2 months ago. That's how long it's been since we were at 27. But I'll point out to you that the highest number that we had was at 75, just over 75, 75.1. And it was on July 6th. So we went from June 22nd with a number that was virtually 27. 2 weeks later, we were at 75. So even though the number is low, it does not take long for that number to go real high. We have Labor Day that's coming up. That could do it. We have UT students coming back. Everything I've seen, they seem to be disciplined, a lot of them, but they're coming back. It looks like there may be more parties going on around pools and the like. We're going to have to watch that. But things that happen in our community could cause us to spike. Doesn't take long. So feel good about that 27 number, but don't get overly confident. We're going to talk about infectivity coming up here tomorrow. We're going to start talking about that, and that's going to be something we need to watch. And we'll start looking at that the same way we look at hospital admissions. That's the number and percentage of people in the community that have the virus. But continuing on, you look off to the right, 303 is the number of new cases we showed today. That's significantly above our 7-day average, but don't look at the 303 that way. The state gets numbers. We're relying on the state. The state gave us 2,000 cases. They gave to us. They dumped on us on Saturday. Some of the numbers that they gave back to us were numbers from as long ago as April. Some of the numbers they gave us in that 2,000 were duplicates of ones we had already counted. So we're having to go through manually that group of 2,000, pull out the duplicates. We're including the ones that came back in April so that they're counted, but obviously well out of time. So here for the next few days, that number I think is going to be artificially high as we deposit those 2,000 cases that the state dumped on us on Saturday. They say they're getting their act together and that once we get through this, they don't anticipate it'll happen again. I hope that's true because we rely on these numbers to make decisions. The numbers in the middle, 7-day running average, the mint-colored numbers in the middle. You can see that the 7-day running average is 235 for hospitalizations. There's 215 tonight in our hospitals, so we continue to edge downward. 84 is the 7-day running average for ICU, 78 in our ICUs tonight. 57 is the 7-day running average of people on ventilators tonight. It's 55. So our daily totals continue to track and moving down, even while the number of cases are more flat. The reason for that, and we'll look at that tomorrow with infectivity, and we've seen some of the numbers with demographics. It looks like there are a greater number of people getting this virus that are in the lower age groups. and they're getting more of it, which is one of the reasons why we're flat. More the younger folks are getting infected. Fewer of them end up in the hospitals, so that we can have a case number that moves in one direction, and actual number of hospitalizations do not. All right, let's go to the next chart. This is the one, green numbers in the middle. Those are our night numbers. We just went through those. The number of folks, number of cases, we just went over 25,000 cases. The state just went over 10,000 deaths 2 days ago. It's important we note that that's a huge number. The number of deaths in Austin, yesterday that number was 337, and it's gone up to 346. So it's an increase of 9. We hear questions about deaths and this virus. I want you to know that COVID, with these numbers, just became the fourth leading cause of death here in Travis County. We just passed with COVID strokes. COVID just passed strokes. 1, 2, and 3 are cancer, heart disease, and accidents. Stroke was fourth. Now COVID has moved into the number 4 spot. Flu. Some people say that this COVID isn't any more deadly than flu. Where does flu rank? In 2018, the number for flu, it was ranked 13th. Flu was 13th. Total number of people passed away in that season, 91. 91. And we're at 346, and the number continues to increase. This is a deadly virus, and it's serious, which is why we have to push down through the plateau, and we all have to show discipline at Labor Day, and we need the university students coming back to be part of what it is that we're trying to do here in the community. We have another page, another chart. I just want people to see. This is something that the University of Texas prepared for us. Anita, if you take me off the screen, make that a little bigger, thanks. In the upper left-hand corner is the chart. That was the color-coded chart, kind of the cartoon on that first dashboard. These are the actual numbers. The little green dots are the actual number. The 7-day average is the green line. And then when you look to the right, you can see a solid green line and a bunch of little gray lines. Those gray lines are all the different things that could happen in the future by virtue of the model that we're looking at. The green line is the kind of the mean average line, but you can see that there is many scenarios above that green line as there are below that green line. It's kind of like a 50-50 place right now as to whether or not our infection level goes up or whether it continues to come back down. From a probability standpoint, it could be either one. Why is that? That it's beginning to plateau off here, and we don't know for sure. The next charts that you see at home, restaurants and bars, that is a service that tracks cell phones in the area. We've been watching that all along to see what people have been doing. When we did the stay at home, did people actually start going at home? Did they stay at home? What about restaurants? Did people stop going to restaurants? Now people are beginning to go back. Bars, bars are closed. So I'm not sure exactly what they count there. But you can see that we had a lot more people stayed home when we did the shelter in home place, and it's come down a little bit. People spending less and less time at home. Restaurants, there was a certain usage. It went down. It's gradually coming back up. You can see it climbing. Bars the same way, but not as much with bars to be expected. As we spend more and more time with each other, makes it harder and harder to contain the virus, which is why I really appreciate the restaurants that are making sure that everybody wears masks going to and from their tables. Really appreciate the ones that are physically separating tables so that groups are not within 6 feet of anybody else. You get up to go to the bathroom, put your mask on. Restaurants should be encouraging that. If we want to maintain opening up businesses and things like that, we're going to have to be able to push down the virus even while we're participating in these things. Transmission rate. And by the way, that data that we get is absolutely anonymized. We have no idea what individuals are. We have no idea particular locations. It's totally an anonymized data, but you can see it at a really high level. All that activity relates into that last chart that's all the way on the right of the exhibit. Anita, you need to pull back on here for a second. That's the transmission rate. You can see the line in the middle at 1. As we go above 1, we have a virus that is going to be, each person is going to infect more than one person. If it goes below 1, each person infects less than one person. The virus will die out if we stay below 1, or at least we won't see it. If we go above 1, we'll see more of it, and you can see we are right on the line. The R factor, as reported by the University of Texas today, if you go to their website, is 0.99. We are right on the edge. All right, those are our things here. I wanted to begin talking about a little substance here. We have so many people in our community that are hurting because of economics, people that have lost their jobs, people that worked in the hospitality industries and bars and restaurants, but lots of other places. I brought somebody here from the city of Austin to talk to us about a program that launched today. And I'm excited to have her with us. Pilar Sanchez, are you with us? There you are. Thanks so much for coming.
Hi, Mayor.
Hi, thank you. Tell everybody what your position is, what you do.
Well, I work at the Housing Authority of the City of Austin, which is partnering with the city to implement this rent assistance program. I'm a vice president. I oversee all of our social services programs for our residents, but today I'm helping implement this program.
Okay, so tell people about this program. It's rental assistance. One of the things that we are trying to address, recognizing that there are thousands and thousands of people in the community that are hurting so badly. The council said at the very beginning of this, let's try to make sure that at the very least, people don't lose their homes. And at the very least, people have food to eat. Talk about this program that got launched today and what it means.
Yeah, so the rent assistance program provides full rent payment for income eligible Austin renters who have been impacted by the COVID virus financially. The goal, as you know, for the city is to help Austinites during the pandemic to avoid evictions, displacement, to keep them home where they can be safe. It's a partnership between the City of Austin, Neighborhood Housing and Community Development.
Oh no, Pilar's frozen on my screen.
Can you hear me now?
You froze for a second. We lost the last little bit of what you said. Could you repeat the last little bit?
Yeah, we started taking applications today, and we've received about 1,200 applications so far.
All right, so this is kind of like round 2 of the rental assistance. There was some money that the council put toward rental assistance really at the beginning of the relief on the pandemic. Talk about what happened with Rent 1, the first incarnation of this.
Yeah, back in May, we piloted the program to be able to learn before we put out a full-fledged program, and we learned a lot. The biggest differences are that back in May, the city had $1.2 million made available to help people with rent. This time we have $12.9 million available from the city. The other biggest difference is that the city will pay a full month's rent as a benefit versus just a portion of the rent that we did in May. And also this time for applicants who have income at 30% or below of the median income, we can provide up to 3 months of rent assistance versus just 1.
And that's real good to hear. The money disappeared really quickly when we had the $1.2 million that we had, but it did help over 1,000 renters, didn't it? You remember what the number was we helped?
It was about 1,700 renters.
So now we're coming back in with over 10 times that amount, and it's going to be something that's given out over the course of the next several months. How do you pick who gets it and who doesn't get it? When you had 1,700 before, how many people applied back then?
We had about 10,000 people apply. About 5,500 were eligible, and we assisted 1,700. So the need is definitely greater.
How do you decide who gets the support?
Well, the only fair way to do it is through a random selection. We'll take applications between today and January of 2021. And every month we'll make a random selection of about 1,000 or 2,000 applications each time. And then we'll screen the applications that are selected.
Okay. So you're eligible for the rent program here, Rent 2. If you live within Austin's full purpose city limits, you make 80% or less than mean family income. About how much is that?
So for a family of 4, the median family income at 80% is about 39. Let me see. I think that's actually 78,100 for a family of 4 at 80%. But at 30%, it's 29,300.
And the priority is going to be to those families that are making 30% of mean family income. So they're going to be money given to both groups, but it's going to be disproportionately represented by those folks that are most at need. Is that correct?
That's correct, and we're going to do that in 2 ways. When we randomly select names. We'll pull from 2 different pools, and so one pool will be families with 30% and below income, and the other would be higher than that, up to 80. And if we pull 1,000 applications, 700 of those will be from the 30% and below pool, so that we have at least 70% of the applications we're screening be at the lower end of income. The other way that we want to do that is any family that makes 30% or below the median income will be eligible for 3 months of rent, versus those that are up to 80, between 30 and 80 will receive 1 month.
Got it. And to be eligible for this, you don't need a Social Security number, and there are no questions asked about your immigration status. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, there is a space on the application where we ask for a Social Security number, but it's not required. We're just looking at personal identification numbers to make sure there's no duplication of benefits. But if one doesn't have a number, they don't have to fill it out.
Okay, there you have it then. That's important to know as you pass that on to other people. So if someone's selected, you pays the contract rent, the rent as stated in their contract, and you make the payments directly to the landlord, so that they get credit for having paid rent that month. You know, one of the things, Pilar, that we did as a city council, both in the orders that I issued as well as city council by ordinance, is we tried to make sure that there wouldn't be any evictions, residential, and otherwise evictions in our city during this period of time. We are encouraging tenants to actually talk to their landlords, and for landlords to talk to the tenants, because we're all in this together. A tenant doesn't pay rent. There's a landlord that's not getting a rent check, can't pay a mortgage payment. So we're all in this. We're all hurting together. So it is best that landlords and tenants talk to each other, see what you can work out. Because even the stuff that we're doing where we put off eviction doesn't excuse a tenant from paying rent. So if a tenant's not paying rent, able to avoid eviction, at some point when this is over, all that back rent is going to be coming due all at once. So best to talk to the landlord tenant, talk to each other, work something out, maybe to help so that the burden at the end isn't as great as it might otherwise be. And these payments will help because they actually cover the rent, and it gets paid to the landlord, so that the kind of the whole chain is helped. So if somebody wants to apply, how do they do it?
So we're taking applications online. The web address will show up on your screen in just a little bit. There it goes. So you go online at austintexas.gov/rent, and the application is available in 8 different languages, the languages that are most spoken here in Austin. They fill out the application. If their application is randomly selected, we'll screen them. And once their application is approved, then we'll make payment directly to the landlord, like you said, Mayor, on behalf of the tenant. And one thing that I wanted to mention, since you talked about landlords, is that we'll be meeting with the Austin Apartment Association members next week. Hopefully a lot of landlords will show up to that workshop so that we can tell them the specifics of the program and how it not only benefits their tenants, but it benefits them as well.
That'd be great. And what should our Spanish-speaking residents know?
Okay, I'm going to practice my Spanish here. Si hay alguien que ha sido afectado por el COVID-19, entonces, por favor, si necesita ayuda a pagar su renta, puede aplicar por asistencia en el sitio del internet que está en la pantalla. Si necesita ayuda para completar la aplicación, puede llamar al 5112-488-1397. Tomamos llamadas en español y en otros lenguajes. Si necesita ayuda con la renta, por favor, llámenos.
Great, thank you. Pilar, thank you so much for helping with this program, but also for everything that the Housing Authority of Austin does in our city. The number of people whose lives you are making so much better and richer by just simply helping to make sure that more people have homes. Your mission is great. You're one of the top housing authorities in the entire country. We're proud to have you guys here in Austin. Please thank Gerber and everybody else associated with the staff. Thank you. Thanks, Pilar. Hey, while I got you here, before we close with our next guest, there's a chart I want you to see that we saw today as a city council, which I think is pretty exciting, kind of far afield from the conversation we're talking about now. It's an Austin energy slide that had a presentation with city council. Anita will pull that up here in just a second. But Austin Energy, just by how they purchase energy and use energy, has able to make an incredible forward move on climate change. We don't have that exhibit here tonight. It's okay. I'll show you that exhibit tomorrow. But it's something that I was excited to see, and I wanted you to have a chance to see it. We're going to go ahead now and bring in our next guest with us. It's Michaela Ulmer, and then somebody I want you to meet. Usually we show you pictures of people. Hi, Michaela.
Hello.
It's good to see you again. I think the last time we were together, I saw you in City Hall. You came to City Council chambers. That was
And I want to practice my Spanish too. Quiero decir gracias, señor Pilar, y su español es muy bien. Y gracias por compartiendo la información.
Great. Thank you for congratulating her. And I understood her Spanish too, so she did do a good job. So thank you for that. And Michaela, thanks for coming and being with me. When I close this briefing, where I tell the community about the numbers and the like, oftentimes I show people pictures of folks that are doing things in Austin so that they can see. And I thought it'd be just particularly special here tonight, rather than having a picture, to have an actual face for people to see. So an exciting thing happened in your life yesterday, no?
Yes. So
What happened yesterday?
Was the launch of my very first book, Be Fearless, Dream Like a Kid. And oh, you have it right there. I love your setup. But yesterday was the launch of my first book. And the book is about sharing my story of starting Me and the Bees Lemonade, which is my business. And then also it's a business guide. And so yesterday it was events and virtual book signings to help share and spread the buzz about the book launch.
And the book talks about your business. And what does your business sell?
Okay, so my business is Me and the Bees Lemonade, and it's a company that I started when I was 4.5 to help save the bees as a lemonade stand here in Austin, Texas. And since then, it has grown to being a product in bottles. We have multiple flavors. It's flaxseed, honey sweetened lemonade, and there's prickly pear, mint, half and half iced tea lemonade, and ginger flavors. And a portion of the proceeds is donated to organizations that are helping save the bees, hence the name Me and the Bees.
And I think it's phenomenal, and it's been great to see both you and your company grow. So everybody, I issued a proclamation yesterday. Yesterday, this show got lost with the governor's press conference, and then my press conference talking about how it is that the city council is doing, I think, really important things to increase public safety in our city. So we missed getting a chance to read the proclamation, but I wanted to read it real quickly now. And in issuing it, be it known that whereas Michaela Almer, an Austin social entrepreneur, helped inspire thousands of local, national, and international budding innovators and young entrepreneurs by sharing the story of her success of starting a purpose-based business, Me and the Bees Lemonade, at the age of 4. And whereas she's traveled the world representing Austin, got funding on Shark Tank when she was 9, received recognition ranging from Teenpreneur of the Year, award by the Austin Black Chamber of Commerce, to Time Magazine's 30 Most Influential Teens. Whereas her Buy a Bottle, Save a Bee approach to business, spent most of her life helping to increase bee awareness and promoting safe environments where bees can thrive through research, education, preservation, including founding the Healthy Hive Foundation. And whereas her first book, which you just talked about a second ago, Be Fearless, Dream Like a Kid, published by Penguin Random House, debuted nationally yesterday to help inspire even more change makers of the next generation, while also helping to raise awareness about bee conservation. Now, therefore, I, Steve Adler, Mayor of the City of Austin, Texas, did hereby proclaim yesterday as Be Fearless, Dream Like a Kid Day in Austin, Texas. So have you been more successful in this than you thought that you'd be when you started out?
Definitely. I mean, I titled the book Dream Like a Kid because I think when it comes to business, you have to think about, what do I really want to do, and what's the problem that I want to solve. And for me, that was the bees. So I want to do whatever I can to help save the bees. But I definitely did not expect, I guess, this much success or this many people to come and join me along my goal to make a measurable impact on the bees. But I'm so glad that I did. And I have a lot of lessons that I've learned and stories from this experience, and also of where I want to go in the future.
Well, I'm just so impressive, and the city is so proud of you. I have my family here, and I've been fighting all day to keep people away from my lemonade, all the different flavors I have here, ginger and classic and prickly pear and mint and iced tea, lip balm. Been hard to keep my girls away from the lip balm here today.
We gotta let them try one.
Now that we've been on TV, I'm going to hand it all out, and I'm going to be a hero here in my house. I just want you to know, Michaela, how proud we are of you. It was good to see your father again tonight. Please keep making us proud, and you serve as an inspiration to so many people, and you're just another part of what it is that I just so love about the people that live in Austin.
Thank you. And thanks for recognizing me and my company for making Austin such an amazing, supportive place of local entrepreneurs, and also for the opportunity to talk about my book, Be Fearless, which I really hope inspires the next generation of change makers or social entrepreneurs. So I'm super excited, and thank you so much. It's such an honor.
All right, Michaela, thank you so much. Thanks for being here with us.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
And everybody else, good night. Take care of yourselves, please, and be safe.